2 women cried as they shook $11,000 in gold from a satchel onto the floor before getting onto lifeboats.
I bet they
Another
did.
2 passengers were said to have abandoned $16,500 in $20 coins because of the weight. One man threw $20 double eagle gold pieces, 825 of them, onto the floor. And they just kind of resigned to their fate. They were like, if we don't lighten our load, we'll sink too. We can't swim with all this money.
Right. Their life is more important than the money.
Thousands, yes. Hundreds of thousands of dollars were just either just thrown into the sea or just put on the deck of the boat. Welcome to Ill-Equipped History, where 2 best friends do their best to tell you a story about history, and we're going to do it whether there's technological issues or not. I'm Emily, and I'm struggling. This is like an AA meeting, guys. This is Morgan.
Hi. Emily, bless her heart, has been like fisticuffs boxing with her computer for the last 45 minutes.
We're battling. She's been here the whole time. I've been screen sharing. I've been trying. Like, people don't believe me when I say technology just doesn't work for me sometimes. Mm-hmm. This is a prime example. Everything's been the same. No settings have been changed. And all of a sudden, my computer is like, we will not be using the microphone and the headphones at the same time that you've been using for 3 years. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And I've been like, because she hasn't been able to hear me, so I've been like texting her options. She's like, I've done that. I've tried that. It won't work. Like, not in like a mad way, just like, I appreciate your help, but it's not working.
Yeah. And like she saw it in real time, it's like, we don't even know if the Bluetooth is on. We can't figure out where the on and off button went. It disappeared. What even is this? So now, if I sound like my cadence is off a little bit, it's because I had to plug the headphones manually into the microphone, and the microphone is plugged into the computer. But what that's doing is giving me an echo of myself that I have to listen to also hear Morgan. So help, we need IT. We need IT so bad. We're not equipped for IT, and that is something we will never be equipped for, I don't think. Anywho, on to better things. Morgan, you had a big life change.
Ooh, I had several, or I had 2 real big ones. First up, Kyle and I closed on the house last week. So we are now homeowners, and we are painting and about to start the moving in process. Thankfully, next week we have off work, both of us. So we're just going to hit the ground running, get all of our crap moved in, organize, sort, get rid of stuff. So we have a friend who's painting for us. And I walked into the house yesterday, and he had finished painting the kitchen, and I felt like Belle walking into the library for the first time.
It's so perfect.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's this French country blue color. Ugh. And it's so far. I wanted like country, like farmhouse, and it's the perfect color for it. I'm so excited.
I want you to know, Lou and I were on the phone earlier, and she was like, "Did you see Morgan's kitchen?" I was like, "Yes." "Did you see Morgan's kitchen?" "Oh my God, it's the perfect French blue. Oh my God, it's not like too light. It's not too dark. It's sophisticated.
It's so perfect.
Oh, it's so perfect."
I can't wait.
I was also trying to figure out how you were painting so fast. And it didn't even occur to me that you have paid someone to do it, because I'm such a DIYer. I'm like, wow, she must be burning the midnight oil painting.
No, we have a friend who does this professionally.
Good for him and good for y'all. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm too much of a control freak, and you know that.
I am too. I did have to, it's a lot for me to let go of the control to let him take care of it, but he's doing such a good job, like, especially after seeing the kitchen and all the nooks and crannies he had to paint around, and then he finished our bedroom yesterday as well, and it also looks beautiful. Hopefully next time I go to the house, my phone isn't about to die, because every time I've been going to the house, my phone is on the verge of dying, and I haven't been able to do anything about it yet. But our bedroom is beautiful. He's finishing my office today, and then he's going to take a little bit of a break, and then by Friday, our bathroom will be done. And I can't wait.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
The other very big milestone that we had is Kyle proposed, and now we are engaged.
Finally!
After 6 years. Almost 7 years.
Yes.
No,
I mean that lovingly, but finally.
Yes. Well, for most of it, I wasn't ready because I was still a student in grad school, and, you know. Yeah. But it was perfect. It was the day we closed, and all morning I'd been joking with Kyle about how he's stuck with me for the next 30 years because we just bought a house together. Little did I know. Everyone was in on it. So he'd called my mom the week before just to give her the heads up. And then I found out later he'd called Emileigh and Corey that morning.
Oh, yeah.
To let them know.
We spread the word. We were like, check your phones, everybody.
These bitches all morning were talking about compression socks. Well, they know that I'm about to be proposed to.
Lou and I were in Target looking for stuff for my daughter's birthday party, and she was like, what time is it? Is she engaged yet? And I'm like, no, we're looking at Central Time. We're in this time, so it'll be this time. And I'm like, no, I haven't got word yet. I don't think it's happened yet. We were...
Also, our real estate agent knew, because she's the one who went with us to quote unquote take pictures in front of the house. That was the whole scheme to get me there, which I thought that was a perfectly normal average thing to do, but apparently she doesn't. Yeah. Well, she doesn't do that with her clients. Oh. Like, she doesn't go with them to the house to take pictures.
She just lets them take the picture.
Yeah. So, but she knew, and she was super in on it. Like, Kyle had asked her if she would take pictures. She actually took a video. And our title agent knew as well. I don't know when Kyle contacted him about it, but he knew. So here I am, the fool, making jokes all morning while the 3 other people in the room are in on it, knowing what's about to happen. I'm like, LOL, ha ha ha.
Oh, it's so funny watching the video, because you can see him look at your real estate agent and be like, are you ready? And she's like, yeah, I'm ready. And like, you think ready for the picture, and like, we know it's not that, and it's perfect.
And so we're walking up to the house after just in the like closing on the house for the last 2 hours, and I start crying because, and honestly, I don't know if I told you this, Emily, we've seen the plants in the house, like around the outside of the house, and I just got this wave of like, those are my plants. This is my house. So I was already crying, and I couldn't stop, and Kyle like let me feel my feelings, but I think he was also like, come on, honey, let's go. And then I get myself together, we go to take the picture, he drops on one knee, and I start bawling my eyes out.
They were ugly sobs. Like, you were ugly crying.
Oh yes. Just thinking about it, I'm getting tears in my eyes. Like, I couldn't stop. And then I couldn't even really hear him in real life. I just know he proof from the video. He asked, will you marry me? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. That was the best part, because you were like, at the same time you were sobbing, you were also hysterically laughing, because you knew real time how ridiculous it was to sob.
Yes. I was laughing and crying at myself.
And all you could get out was, like it was a wheeze.
Emily promptly proceeded to roast me about that as soon as I sent her the video.
In, like, the most loving way possible.
Yes.
Because I, too, was crying.
Yes.
But, again, because I'm also a sympathy laugher, I was doing the exact same thing you were doing in the video, but I was just watching the video. I was like, it is so beautiful.
And then he puts the ring on my finger, and then he holds me, and I continue to cry for like 5 minutes, and our agent's just standing there, this giant smile on her face, just filming us the entire time. So it was a beautiful day.
It was the best. It was good. It was good stuff. And all of that happened on Corey's birthday.
I made a joke that all of my major life events have happened on their important dates. So, like, I got my first and only tattoo while Emileigh was actively in labor with her first son. Yes. And then I got engaged and bought a house on Corey's birthday. So, y'all be on the lookout, because I'm out to steal your important dates for myself.
Morgan's like, I see it's like the days about you, but how can I make it about me? She's like, oh, you gave birth, whatever. I got a tattoo on my whole back, so whatever.
That's fine. Oh, and then I was all hopped up on it.
33rd birthday, whatever. I bought a house and got engaged.
Shh. Psh, psh, psh. Don't even care.
No, we're happy to share all the birthdays.
Yes.
Even your tattoo's birthday.
Yes. That's so funny. I was all hopped up on adrenaline afterwards, and I was texting, because Emileigh couldn't text me back because she was in labor. So I was texting Corey, and I was like, I can drive up there right now. I was in Nashville. I was like, I'll drive up there right now. I can do it. I can make it there in like 2 hours. And she was like, girl, it's fine. There's enough people here. You rest, heal. Don't do anything crazy. We're okay.
You did not want to be around me when the hard contractions kicked in, and I swear to you, there were tons of people in my room, and I blinked, and there was no one in my room, and I'm like, what did I do? Did I yell at everyone?
You blacked out. Wait, get the fuck out of here.
I feel like I blinked, everyone was gone, and the lights were off, and I'm like, oh, I think I needed some zen in my life. Oh, it was not fun. Anyway, we could chat about all the wonderful, crazy, wild things that are happening in our life right now, which is the whole reason why we couldn't get a normal episode out last week. So we're sorry about that.
Yes.
We hope you enjoyed that one. That one was really quirky and fun. And a lot of our bonus episodes on Patreon are kind of in that format where it's like not enough to make a full episode about it, but we compile them and have a theme. So if you like that, you know where to find it.
Yeah.
Would I be a podcaster if we didn't, plug in the Patreon every now and then?
No, gotta.
Gotta. But we're back at it. Tech problems aside. So let's get into it.
Let's do it.
1857, September, New York City. A wealthy businessman sits hunched over his desk, head in his hands, weeping. Papers are strewn everywhere as if they were thrown onto the floor in anger. He hears his office door slam open to find his young daughter running to his side.
Papa, look! Mama showed me how to draw a duck.
Not now. Papa's having a hard time.
A hard time? Drawing a duck? I can show you how.
No, not the duck. It's work.
Why would work make you draw a duck?
Baby, no one makes me do anything at work. I own the work.
Well, why are you sad if no one is making you draw the things you're bad at?
I'm not bad at... Never mind. It doesn't matter anyway. None of this matters.
I promise you ducks matter, Papa. Mama said they're good for the ecosystem.
What's good for our ecosystem is getting our gold back.
Gold? Where did it go? Did the ducks take them?
The gold is currently at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, baby. Every single piece of gold I needed to build our vacation home in Spain, gone, all gone.
Why did the ducks put them there?
There were no ducks.
Why did you bring them up then?
Please, just go get your mother.
Can you show me how to draw a goose first?
I just really like that skit. And it really does have something to do with what we're talking about today, but loosely, okay?
Loosey goosey?
Loosey goosey, ooh! So, I don't know if you noticed, or if you gathered, Emily couldn't figure out what to talk about, so she found a sunken ship.
Old trusty.
Old trusty. I literally was panicking, and I was like, what? Oh my God, what? And I was just like, really important sunken ships. So here we are.
Yay.
The sinking of the SS Central America.
Oh.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of it?
I have not.
I hadn't either. But I will say, I'll go ahead and spoil it. It has been found.
Oh.
We'll get into the finding of it later. But it is, I believe, the biggest, gold haul ever found.
Oh, okay. Then I think I've heard it referenced, but I didn't know the name of the ship.
Yes. But we can get into the life and sinking and finding of the SS Central America. So, George Law was the original name. It was the SS George Law. They changed the name eventually. But anyway, So George Hellfire, apparently that was his nickname, was the builder, owner, namesake of this ship. And he co-founded the U.S. Mail Steamship Company and was awarded the U.S. mail contract between 1848 and 1859. So he is using his ships to get mail across the United States. Apparently they called him Hellfire because he was hateful and hard to deal with.
Oh, geez.
Yep. But in October of 1852, they built this ship and it was launched in October. And then completed. Launched meaning put in the water, and then they would complete the boat, and it was completed in 1853 and took its maiden voyage later. So let's talk about the specifications of this ship. And I do have kind of blueprints and pictures of the ship itself. So it was one of just two steamships just like this. They were converted sailing ships, and they carried passengers, cargo, and mail between New York and the Caribbean ports. And the George Law, as it was then, was built to actually retain its sailing capabilities, but primarily depended on steam engines to move paddle wheels. So it's like a sailboat with paddle wheels.
Okay. And steam.
And yeah, so the steam makes the paddle wheels go, but then say they run out of coal, they can't produce the steam, they can sail the bitch. They're like, we're getting home.
Oh, okay.
It's literally a hybrid before a hybrid. So
there we go.
Yeah, it's like the hipster hybrid. And this also helps save on the use of coal. I'm sure they, used the wind to help them out when necessary to help save on coal. And it had 3 masts and not a lot of lifeboats because the 1800s, 1850s.
We had not had the Titanic yet.
No. They're like, you fall in, you could swim. You're all right. It's fine.
Like, people hadn't been sailing ships for hundreds of years at this point, knowing when you fall into the ocean, that's sayonara.
They're really only looking after the first class passengers. I mean, we've learned that from Titanic, so...
Right.
So the length of this ship was 272 feet. It had a 40-foot beam and a 32-foot depth. So, real long. 40 feet is not that wide. Let's be honest.
No, it's not.
And the depth, 32 feet, is still not that deep.
So it's wider than it is deep. Great. That's a great formula, as we've established.
Yes. If you guys want to know how to not build a ship, go listen to one of the first episodes on the Vasa. We will give you detailed blueprints on what not the fuck to do. But this, I mean, it's a sailing ship. It's not like it's the first of its kind. It's a well-established kind of boat. It had been built with the priority given to cargo and speed. And that means it did not have a fixed ballast. If y'all don't know what ballast is, that is the weight that keeps the boat down. Weighted down. And the coal itself was actually used as ballast. And what that means is that as the voyage went on, the boat actually became lighter and lighter and higher out of the water and was more vulnerable to waves and wind. The ship would ride higher in the swells. That also means it could go faster and could hold more cargo, but rough seas were an issue. And it says that it had berths available for 494 passengers with a crew of 52. During the time of its use, like the peak time of its use, it would have about 1,000 people on board. So they were way overboarding.
More than double. Damn.
Yeah, that's way too many people. I will say, I had a very hard time determining the exact number of passengers and crew on the final voyage. So if you hear me saying different numbers, and the math doesn't math when it comes to like the final head count of people, it's because different sources said different things. They were all roughly the same, but I don't think any of them exactly match. So bear with me on that. But it was a cargo ship through and through. It was basically like they built a cargo ship, and then they were like, let's add passengers on there. So the passengers were kind of an afterthought. Now, the first class passengers were 2 to a room, 2 people per room. Second class passengers were 3 to a room. And then there was the steerage, which good luck on that. You don't have a room. If there were too many people in those first and second class rooms, you had to sleep in shifts.
Damn.
And they had, if you look at the blueprints, you can kind of look at skylights that went all the way down. They're not really skylights. That's just kind of what they described them as. But they were holes where the coal would be put into the ship.
Okay.
And other cargo. But do you want to take a gander at how much the tickets for this boat cost?
Yeah.
Steerage was $150. In today's money, that is $6,018.
That is crazy.
For second class passengers, $250. Today, that would be $10,030. And first class was $300, and that was $12,036.
That's more than cruises.
Yes.
Like, if I'm sharing a bed with a passenger and I have to pay $12,000 for the privilege to do so, I'm going to be pissed off.
Yes. But you have to remember what this ship is doing, which is what we're getting into.
Okay.
Now remember, when the ship makes its maiden voyage, it is peak towards the end, but it is in the gold rush, right in the middle of the gold rush.
Okay.
So the gold rush was 1848 to 1855-ish, and its maiden voyage was 1853, I believe I said. Yeah. So a couple years before the end of the gold rush, and that is what it was used for. Please, our lovely, wonderful listeners, don't make me repeat the ways to get to California and back. You know, by land, around the Horn, or you cut it off in the middle. But, and that's in Panama. But
yeah,
for you guys to get just an idea of, just a recap, the Panama Canal was not completed until 1914. So in this scenario, this is the scenario we're looking at. They are going down the boat on one side, across the isthmus by
was it Donkey River,
trains, eventually whatever, to get to the other side on another boat and then up. The Transcontinental Railroad was not built until 1869. So if you wanted to go by land at this time, you were going on the Oregon Trail.
And getting dysentery.
Yeah. Or getting caught in the mountains and eating each other.
Yeah.
That's a whole different episode. And then, this was kind of the path of least resistance, like we had said in the multiple Panama episodes we've talked about at this point. And so the George Law was made for this. All she did was go from New York to Panama and back. She made this trek every 2 weeks.
Wow.
So it was a lot. And like I said, October of 1853, she made her maiden voyage, went back every 2 weeks. And she would sail,
hauling ass.
literally hauling the mail. And it would sail on the 5th and 12th each month. So they're on a freaking schedule.
Yes.
And from New York to Aspinwall, or what is now Cologne, typically took about 8 or 9 days. So they'd get down there, turn around, come back up, get do.
Wow.
So between 1853 and 1857, they completed 43 successful round trips transporting passengers and gold. And it was recorded to have carried between 217 and 817 passengers. Obviously, the numbers in this of how many passengers, I'm like, were y'all just letting people on and not even writing it down? Anyway.
Probably.
On these trips, 200 to 1,000, depending on the trip, depending on the time of year, whatever. And between 800,000 and $1.9 million in gold every trip. Because they're going back. Crazy. All these people that went to the gold rush are like now going back home and not staying in California. Now it is said that one of those trips was not completely successful. So on one of its voyages, it ran aground in Key West. because they had to be diverted from Panama because of a yellow fever outbreak.
Oh, geez.
So they had to go to Key West to refuel instead of being able to dock in, Havana. They weren't able to dock in Havana. It got stuck coming out of Key West on Pickle Reef, which is the best reef name. And it took them like 16 hours. They got stuck. Whatever. But they had to go. They eventually got unstuck. They had to pay for somebody to come and help. And it wasn't damaged enough to not make it home on its own accord.
Okay.
But it did have to go into dry dock and needed some maintenance anyway. So a New York newspaper had reported that it had been grounded, and this was supported by the fact that it had been dry docked. And while it was at the Webb shipyard, they did some maintenance, repairs, and it was in good enough shape to get back out there. It just needed a little bit of love. Engines were overhauled, copper sheeting replaced. But it was during this dry dock period in 1957 that they changed the ship's name to the SS Central America to reflect.
Did you mean 1857 or 1957?
I meant 1857.
Okay, I was like, whoa.
Sure. Yeah, it just kept on going. No, 1857.
Okay.
The ship's name was changed to the SS Central America. It's not really clear why they did that, other than George Law had sold his interest to his company.
Okay.
And then I guess they were just like, I guess we'll name it to...
It's going to Central America, so we'll name it.
Yeah, it's going to Central America. It's a ta-da. Y'all, we've said it before. We'll say it again. Mm-hmm. I'll die on this hill. Don't rename ships.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Doesn't end well.
No. So, a couple trips back, Commander William Lewis Herndon, taking command of the ship. He would remain the captain of the ship until its last days. So, we've got a ship that's just been renamed. And I don't know if it was the next outing or if it was just close to it, but it was only a couple months later that the thing sank.
Oh, jeez.
Don't rename ships, guys. It's not worth it.
No, it's not.
So let's get into the sinking timeline.
Okay.
So, a little recap. What is on this ship? Well, according to one source, 592 passengers, including crew and then cargo and mail. Another source said 477 passengers and 101 crew. If you do math, the math ain't mathin'. So it's somewhere between 578 to 592. Almost 600 people.
Okay.
And all of this gold and the mail. And a lot of these passengers, the couple hundred of them, were miners returning from California. And even they had gold on them.
So lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of gold.
Yes. So I wish I could tell you how much. Again, with the freaking numbers, no one could give me a straight answer. Apparently in the ship's strongbox was gold that was supposed to go to the New York banks that was worth $40 million in the prices of that era. So it's like worth $40 million today.
Okay.
This money was kind of a key part in the reserves that kind of kept the New York banking systems afloat. We'll get into that later. Some other sources say that it was like 1.6 million in their money. Some say it's $1 billion in today's money. Who the fuck knows.
Okay.
The problem is that we can only account for officially what was on record,
Mm-hmm.
what we know to be on there, and kind of what has been found.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that as well. But a lot of the gold that was on there was just kind of on their person. So they had like bags, little satchels of gold tied to them, or they would have suitcases in their room full of gold. That's not accounted for.
Right.
That's just like, that's their luggage. So we don't know. But the official estimate was somewhere in between like 1.2, 1.3 million in 1857 currency money.
Okay.
Worth. Somewhere in there. Still a shit ton.
Yes.
And some of it was like, I feel so bad for these people because the people in the gold rush, they would put the money on a ship and then it would go across and it would go back up and then it would be put into a bank on their behalf. It would like be stamped with their name and stuff. Yeah. I just feel so bad. We all know it's sinking, so.
Yeah.
It was very important to a lot of people that this money made it.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. So, beginning of the journey, the hundreds of people that were going to be on this boat in August, just to give you a timeline of how long it took, on August 20th of 1857, the ship from San Francisco left and went to South America. And then they wouldn't leave Cologne on the SS Central America until September 8th.
Wow.
So it took a couple weeks. And the passengers and crew and all the gold set sail. On September the 9th and 10th, I'm going to do the best I can to keep this concise and in order because, again, different sources were confusing.
Right.
So somewhere on the 9th and 10th of September, they encountered a bit of an issue.
Okay.
So there was a surviving second mate, James Fraser. We do have some really cool quotes from him, so I'm going to read those. It says, quote, "We left Havana September 8th, 8 a.m. with fine weather, moderate breezes, and head sea. By 4 a.m. Tuesday the 9th, it was blowing fresh, the sea running high with light rain. At 10 a.m., the third officer set the storm spanker and kept it on until the sail blew to pieces. We also spread canvas on the main and mizzen rigging, but to no purpose, as the ship was so high out of the water, she could not head to the wind." I don't know what a storm spanker is.
I just tried to look it up, and all I'm getting is mountain bikes.
Oh.
Is it Spanker?
Yeah. Like a naughty child getting spanked. But from what I can tell.
Oh, I see. It's according to the AI overview, it is the fore and aft sail set. So the first and the last sails.
Okay, so those blew to pieces.
Damn.
Shredded. And the boat, because of its design, where the ballast is being actively used up, was so high out of the water, it could not compete with the wind. Like, it was getting blown all over the place. It had nothing to weigh it down.
Damn.
So, later on the 10th, winds, a casual 105 miles an hour.
Holy shit.
Category 2 hurricane.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And she started to list to one side. So we have another quote from Mr. Fraser. "A larger bow anchor would have been used, but the ship was so listed on her beam ends, we could not get the yard up to the bow. The captain gave orders to cut away the foremast and attach a drag hawser to its stub. The drag had no effect in bringing the ship's head down. The lee bilge pump hove water all night. The weather pump hove water until the chamber burst. So,
oh my God.
From what I'm gathering, they tried to get an anchor down to get the nose of the boat down forward, but the boat was already listing so hard they couldn't get it up there. And then they cut away the foremast, which, because the sails could no longer be used, they cut the mast down, and then tried to, I guess the mast was tilting them even more, so they tried to cut that down.
And what it sounds like they were trying to attach something to like the stump where the mast used to be.
To try to even it out. Unfortunately, it was said that when they cut that mast down, that it got caught and got tangled up and was like up under the boat and was causing more damage.
Yeah,
to the boat.
It sounds like they couldn't get like the front of the ship down enough to like do anything. And then they're taking on water.
Yeah, it's still listing to one side, and those pumps are pumping as much as they can.
Yeah.
And remember, this is a steam boat, so those pumps only work if the steam is working.
Right.
That's really hard with a list like that.
Yeah.
So the ship's beginning to fail. Another account from Fraser. It appears that when the sea had commenced with fury, the ship laid down upon one side, causing her engines to labor heavily from the total immersion of one paddle wheel, and increasing the difficulty of passing the coal and firing. This angle caused the ship to strain heavily at the turn of her bilge, either working the oakum out of her seams or working the timbers apart, causing extraordinary leakage. So now we're listing, we're leaking, the pumps are failing, the engines are failing.
Oh my God.
The water in the engine room would splash against the boilers, the hot boilers, and these firemen, meaning people tending to the fire, were standing waist deep in like scalding water.
Oh my God.
Trying to keep this thing going.
I can't imagine how terrifying this whole thing would be. And like hearing, like he had a really vivid description of the sound that the ship was making, and hearing the wood starting to split apart and the engines. Oh, I'm getting like chills. This is awful.
Horrendous. And we're not done yet. One by one, the boiler fires went out. And they could not be relit. Without the ability to make steam, not even the paddle wheels could work.
Right.
The ship could not be controlled. The pumps don't work. If your fire's out, everything's out.
Yeah.
And because of the angle of the hull, it said suction pipes to the bilge pumps were out of the water, making the pumps useless. And the suction pipes to the donkey boiler suffered as well. What the donkey boiler is specifically, I don't know, but it just seems like one of those boilers. Morgan's looking it up.
Shit.
While you're looking at that up, they were burning everything they could. They were burning berth boards and boxes to try to keep it.
Wow.
To try to keep those fires going, and they couldn't.
So it looks like, according to the AI overview, it looks like it's like a separate auxiliary boiler that's used in like when the main boilers are shut down.
Wow. They couldn't even get that.
It can be like an emergency boiler, or if like they're going into port and they don't need the whole power, like it's just like a little bit.
Right.
Wow. Oh. This is so sad.
And this was on the 10th. By the 11th, the writing was kind of on the wall. They were holding this thing down for days.
Oh my God.
Remember, the storm started on the 9th. So, September 12th, the storm started late in the evening on the 9th through the 10th and 11th. By 9 a.m. on the 12th, the ship just kind of was floating there helpless. Okay. The water was 10 foot deep in the engine room.
Oh my God.
And they attached slings to barrels to try to like scoop out as much water as possible. And all of the crew and a lot of these passengers worked 24 hours with these bucket brigades to try to scoop it out, but with very little effort. They were doing their damnedest.
Yeah.
And like the men were working hard, the women were passing out food as much as possible. And honestly, the scene was described as having very little panic. Like everyone was very calm about it.
Well, they weren't actively sinking, it sounds like. They were just like, we need to get this water out. We need to handle this.
Yes. It's almost like they were like, if we could just keep scooping it out until help comes, we'll be all right. Mm-hmm. There was a miner, as in the guy that digs up gold, not an underage person, was asked if anyone seemed disposed to pray. And he said, why, yes, there was some praying, also some swearing, and some fighting for loose boards and box tops. Some deliberately turned in and went to bed, choosing to meet their fate in that form. The majority did not expect the vessel to go down so soon. Remember the phrase, go down so soon. Because remember, right now we're maintaining.
Right.
But hold on to that. So I've got rescue? ? Most of the miners had removed their money belts and pouches to lighten their weight and throwing them onto the deck and put on life jackets. So it was said that 2 women cried as they shook $11,000 in gold from a satchel onto the floor before getting onto lifeboats.
I bet they
Another
did.
2 passengers were said to have abandoned $16,500 in $20 coins because of the weight. One man threw $20 double eagle gold pieces, 825 of them, onto the floor. And they just kind of resigned to their fate. They were like, if we don't lighten our load, we'll sink too. We can't swim with all this money.
Right. Their life is more important than the money.
Thousands, yes. Hundreds of thousands of dollars were just either just thrown into the sea or just put on the deck of the boat. So, some help arrived at noon on the 12th in the form of the brig Marine.
Okay.
And it had gone through the same hurricane that the Central America had, but the Central America was able to launch 3 damaged lifeboats. The Marine's lifeboats were said to be too small to be assistance. I don't know how that's possible. Like, get as many people as you can to ferry them back and forth. What the hell? But the women and children were put on the lifeboats first. And the Marine, unfortunately, had also lost its sails in the storm and could not maintain a close position. So she drifted until she was about 2 miles away, which was too far to help.
Yeah.
To row against the seas. So rescue attempts were suspended after that. So they did get some people off in that batch. And then around 6:30 p.m., the schooner El Dorado of New York came into view and moved towards the Central America. The El Dorado captain told Herndon to start offloading passengers, but there were no more lifeboats available to get people over to them.
Right.
So then Herndon just asked that El Dorado stay by the Central America until daylight, because the sun had already set at that point, hoping that, the storm would subside. The storm was still kind of going on. I think the peak of it was done.
Past, but still rough
Yes.
seas and...
Yes. And that they were hoping that the bailing would keep them afloat, but the El Dorado also could not hold her position and drifted off.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was I talking about go down so soon? Emily, they've been sinking for 3 days. What are you talking about, you crazy lady? Yeah, they've been enduring for 3 days. But it was said that around 8 p.m. on the 12th, the captain climbed onto the paddle and fired off his last signal rocket. And then one of two things happened. Some say that the ship was just so battered that it just gave way and went down. Another account said right after 9, so somewhere between 8 or 9, a heavy sea rolled the Central America and she sank immediately stern first. So she endured for 3 days, but then one thing happened and down she went. So that's why he was like, we weren't expecting it to go down that fast. There wasn't anything anybody could do at that point. Either way, a large number of passengers and the captain went down with the ship. Before dawn the next morning, the bark Ellen approached the area. Bark being a type of boat. And heard cries for help. And the crew was able to throw out life jackets and ropes. And they ended up rescuing 49 more men from the water.
Wow.
And days later, the brig Mary found 3 survivors drifting on one of the lifeboats 400 miles away from the shipwreck.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, those poor men.
9 days.
9 days without food or water.
400 miles.
Oh my God. Do you know about where they were?
They did. I don't think they said exactly. They just said 400 miles. Well, they said 400 miles north. So they went up. So they were outside the Carolinas at the shipwreck. Most of the survivors were taken in Norfolk, Virginia. So I would say somewhere in the Virginia.
Maybe even Maryland area.
Maybe even Maryland. Yeah.
Wow.
And for several days, debris from the wreck was seen along the Gulf Stream. And there was an immediate investigation to, and that was kind of demanded to, I guess some people were like, well, the men didn't do enough. It was said to explore charges of cowardice by some of the crew and chief engineer, which was later proven unfounded. They were like, nah. All the survivors agree that the crew made every effort to keep the ship afloat until rescue.
Oh, that's so sad, too, because, like, these people weren't on the boat. How are they supposed to know if it was cowardice or not? Like,
yeah.
They weren't on the sinking ship. Ugh, that makes me so frustrated.
Yes. So, again, another instance of 2 sources telling me different numbers. So, somewhere between 423 to 425 lives were lost that day. And between 149 and 153 were rescued.
Wow.
Along with pretty much everything on the boat. So they're, again, estimating $1.2 to $1.3 million of gold.
Jeez.
Then.
That's crazy.
And to add insult to injury, the Central America ship itself was valued at approximately $140,000 at the time and was, unfortunately, not insured.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. So what is the aftermath of this going on? Y'all, this was the straw that broke the camel's back and caused the Panic of 1857. So let me set up the United States for you at the moment. The gold rush is kind of starting to, it has waned. It's pretty much over. The country had been growing too fast for its own britches. There was a lot of systematic weaknesses. The railroad expansion was like an overinvestment on a lot of people. Europe at the same time was pulling back on their demands for American products, specifically wheat. So bubbles began to burst everywhere. Now, there was also an investor confidence loss triggered by the failure of the Ohio Life Insurance and Trust Company. And how did this affect it?
So is this like a recession going on, or like...
That's the beginning of the hints, the whispers of recession.
Okay.
So how did this break the camel's back? Well, the New York banks kind of needed all those coins to cover their withdrawals and make remittances to Europe and meet obligations.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So they were in a deficit. And then they lost all their money, and now they're continuing to be in a deficit.
Oh,
So we know what happens when the banks can't pay their people back.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of miners had put, even if the miners themselves were not on that ship, miners had put gold on that ship to take home. Now they have less money.
Right.
Because it's at the bottom of the freaking ocean. And it just ruined, it just was the final thing that broke everything. And economic stability wouldn't begin to come back until late 1958. And then the Civil War happened.
Oh, geez.
So there were some lessons learned.
Yeah.
On the shipbuilding side of lessons learned, a very highlighted need for fixed ballast, redundancy in water pumps, and also reliable propulsion systems.
Yes.
Lessons in commercial practices. It said, spread risks when shipping financial remittances. Yeah, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't put all your gold in one boat, my man.
Literally.
Literally,
Jeez.
do not put it all in there. So, everything's lost. Let's fast forward like 130 years.
Okay.
So in 1988, the wreckage was located 8,000 feet in the water by the Columbus America Discovery Group. It's 150 miles from off of Charleston.
Okay.
Pretty much. So how did they find it? How they found it? They compiled 33 accounts of the sinking and pulled news stories that were published in 1857. They pulled data to create, quote, thousands of computerized models of possible sinking scenarios based on the ship's last known whereabouts and coordinates, and then wind speed, direction, water currents, hurricanes. They kind of built themselves a grid.
In 1989, you said, right?
88.
88. That's very impressive. Like, not the
is.
fact that they did the math, but the computer modeling they did. That's very impressive.
So each square on the grid was assigned a number, and the higher the number, the greater the possibility of finding it. So that was really cool. The search grid was 1,400 square miles, which is almost the size of Rhode Island.
In the ocean with no
in
landmarks.
the ocean. Yep. And search operations commenced in 86, so a couple years before 88. It's just like 40 years ago.
Wow.
They went down. Listen, I'm giving you cliff notes. It took them a couple years to obviously find it, and they went down there, and they're like, "Oh my God, we found the wheel!" It's like every treasure hunter's dream, right? They found the smoking gun of what this is, and they went down with like their water robot thing, and they put the thrusters on to like push the silt and the sand away, and there were piles, 30-foot high piles of gold.
Oh, I just got like a massive chill. Whoa.
Piles. Now, they found the gold. I'm going to get into like a hint of drama because I feel like we could come back to this. But like,
okay.
88 to like 91 was the first major recoveries were done. The last name Thompson, I forget his first name, but he, again, he's such a character that he started getting sued for not paying back investors. He didn't show up for court. He ran away to Florida, eventually was caught. Tax evasion, now in prison.
Oh, no.
They took his company from him, went back after the gold by themselves. Anyway, he never told anyone where the gold he took was.
Oh, man.
He's like, nah, I'll stay in prison.
That's hilarious.
So, I really on purpose wanted to gloss over that because we need to talk about this guy. Anyway,
okay.
So what exactly did they find? They found 1.6 million of back then money, and they found. Okay, so they knew the 1.3 to 1.6 was on the ship. Sorry, I'm trying to word this correctly. What they found was actually like 2.8 million, and that difference came from the passengers' pockets, basically. So that's why we know that it was more than what was written down. They had freshly minted coins. Like, they were still in the rolled stacks from the mint. They found
my God.
10,000 $20 double eagle coins.
I just looked up 1.6 million in 1857 is over $61 million today.
Oh. They found $3 gold coins.
Whoa.
Yeah, and they used to make these because sheets of stamps were 3 cents and they sold them in sheets of 100. So they made, for a very, very short period of time, a $3 coin to make it easier to buy stamps.
Okay.
They found coins that were from the Carolina Mint. That Carolina Mint was not in use for very long, so those are really rare.
Mm-hmm.
And they even found some coins that were specific to San Francisco because the money laws were not the same back then. So San Francisco would make their own coins during the gold rush because the gold was coming out of the mountain faster than they could get like it exchanged for actual money. So then like San Francisco had their own currency for a little bit. They found some of those. They found pictures. I forget what kind of pictures, that they were very beautifully like preserved. But one of them is known as the Mona Lisa of the Deep. I believe I have a picture of her. And the picture of the man on there is the captain, by the way.
I figured.
Yes.
Wow.
But there she is, the Mona Lisa of the Deep. And the coolest thing of all, in a safe, they found tickets for the boat.
Oh my God.
Paper tickets.
What? Oh my God. That is crazy.
Also, look at all those gold bars. Like, these gold, you see what was stamped on there? That's how they would know, like, Oh, this goes to John Doe in Nebraska. So John Doe in New York at this bank. So they would like stack up all his gold and take it to where it needs to go. And that's a physical stamper of that's my gold.
Yeah, I found this gold. It is mine. Take it to where it needs to go. Wow.
Thank you. So there was a big major operation in 2014. I doubt they're done. I don't really know. But I've got some fun facts to round us out.
Yay, I love fun facts.
So Commander William L. Herndon, he has a monument that is at the U.S. Naval Academy grounds now.
Oh, that's cool. And he was the captain, right?
He was the captain that went down with the ship. And it was said that someone had mentioned a captain that was like, a ship had sank and the captain bailed and didn't go down with the ship. And he was like, yeah, no, I'm going down with the ship if it ever sinks. And then it did. And he was like, Also, his daughter would go on to marry the 21st president of the United States.
Whoa.
She died before he became president, unfortunately. She got sick.
Oh.
But she married the guy who would go on to be the 21st president of the United States.
I'm trying to think of who that was. Was that...
I don't remember.
Harrison? No, I don't think it was Harrison. Chester A. Arthur.
Yeah, let me see this dude. I showed a picture of him.
So he was mustachioed.
Yes, very mustachioed. So at the time, this was the greatest sea disaster in the nation's history.
Wow.
And it was this captain's brave actions from the ship sinking that actually named the town of Herndon.
Oh.
It's Virginia.
Okay. Aw.
The town is called the town of Herndon. So, okay, remember Mr. Chase who said we didn't expect it to go down so soon?
Yeah.
Okay. Someone mentioned that he actually was one of the few miners that actually saved all his treasure somehow. So I'm like, good for you.
I'm so glad he was able to save his treasure. Oh my gosh. Man, he really got out of it.
Oh, I'm so happy for him. I mean, it's so sad. I also am thanking my lucky stars that, this didn't happen when they had like 1,000 people.
Oh man, that would have been
awful.
Yeah. Well, as per usual with these shipwreck stories, what an interesting tragedy.
Yeah. I have a mixture of things because I think shipwrecks are so cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it just makes you so mad when things are very preventable. If they had fixed ballast and a more reliable propulsion system, it would have been fine.
Yeah. Well, and it was fine for what, like 44 voyages, right?
Yeah, it was. And the lack of lifeboats really irks me because it's like, that's just a no-brainer. You don't need to be told to have enough lifeboats per passenger.
Well, they wouldn't learn that lesson until after Titanic, unfortunately, so.
And I'm sure there were people who were arguing against it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the room. It looks bad.
It's too crowded.
You mean
for my
I have to
eyes.
spend money on lifeboats to save the pores? I can't wait to save the first class passengers. They paid more money.
They're the ones paying $12,000 to share a room.
Could you imagine going and finding so much gold that you could just pay $12,000 to get home?
And it just not even be a drop in the bucket with your wealth that you've accumulated?
Wild. I would say
Man.
we were born in the wrong era. I have no business going to California in the 1800s.
No.
I wouldn't have survived. I don't want to go around the Horn. I don't want to be stuck on a boat that long. I don't want to go down, across, up, and screw the Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
No, I'm, for all its faults, I'm glad as a woman, I'm glad I'm in 2026 because it was not good for women way back then.
No. All I have to think about is, sorry about you guys listening, having to get my monthly in the 1800s with no pain medicine.
Yeah.
I'm all right. I'll stay right here in this timeline. Thank you very much.
Well, thinking of how you had to give birth to your children.
Oh, I would have been dead.
Yeah.
So dead. Nick would have been on probably wife at least number 2 by now.
At least
and I'd have to haunt them, and it would be so exhausting. I already told him, I was like, listen, if I die before you and some woman comes up to you and says she would want you to move on and be happy, no, it's a lie. No, I do not. I will haunt everybody in this house. I will make your life hell.
No one's better than me.
Well, should we do socials?
Let's do socials.
Okay. You can find us on Facebook,
Ill-Equipped History podcast group and page.
Instagram,
at Ill-Equipped History.
TikTok,
at Ill-Equipped History.
Gmail,
ill-equippedhistory@gmail.com.
and Patreon.
Patreon.com/ill-equippedhistory.
Guys, we talked about Patreon already. Just go check it out.
Yeah, check out our bonus episodes.
Bonus. I don't even know. What was I going to say?
I don't know.
My brain has been working overtime because I can hear myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's turned to mush.
Yeah. Well, you did a really good job.
Thank you. Thank you. I've, maybe I'm just used to having voices in my head. I don't know.
The sound of children always, Mom, 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 Mom.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty good at tuning that out most of the time. But anyway, don't put all your gold on one boat or you'll cause a recession.
All right, that's our life lesson for today.
There's so many life lessons in this.
Nope, this is the only one. Don't put all your gold in one boat or you'll cause a recession. That's the only lesson to be learned from today's episode.
That's the only takeaway. Of course, we're just goosing.
Yes, we're always just goosing.
Always.
Never not goosing.
That's all we do. It's how we live our life.
Yes.
Anywho.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.